Hello everyone and welcome back to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Last time, we made our way into, well, Victory Road for the first time, and now we are currently being besieged by rock things. Granted, that is one of the issues with having the much larger body-sized Pokemon that is Aerodactyl, but as we did last time, we opened up the first gateway within this place, and we are going to be having some, of course, required trainer battles, and yes, there is that, item ball up there, where I'd probably go grab that, because TM Stealth Rocks is on this floor, as I have mentioned before, but there's also a couple of trainers on here, and also, there's just a lot of other items which aren't necessarily the most useful, but there are a couple of trainers on here that, you know, can be useful for experience. Oh. What? I'm surprised Shiny was able to tank that quite. I mean, I don't want to say quite well, but considering it survived a super effective Outrage, and Shiny is not necessarily known for being bulky, I think that's it took it pretty well scenario right there. It's going to be so much better when she finally evolves. Like, she's not going to evolve until, like, significantly later, but yeah, that is one of the main issues with, of course, as I mentioned, pseudo-legendaries before. Granted, it was one of the more pronounced issues of the early pseudo-legendaries. They've gotten a significantly better as time that went on. Granted, Metang still very much suffers from that, and to a degree, so does Shelgon, but Shelgon can at least take a couple of hits. I mean this from a physical perspective, especially not so much. But yeah, that is one of the only real issues with using a pseudo-legendary, is that they are pretty much an absolute potato for most of the game. We pretty much, I mean, most of us tend to remember Gabite as being the only pseudo-legendary that really wasn't an actual potato to use, because early on in Platinum you get access to Earthquake, and giving a pretty fast Pokemon with a pretty solid special attack that has decent bulk, what is known as one of the best moves in the entire series, absolutely turns into a freaking monster, and it does its job very, very well. But yeah, Dragonair, even to a degree, Pupitar, because even though Pupitar does actually get Rock Slide quite early, it's still fairly slow and doesn't really have the greatest of stats. But Dragonair, oh, Dragonair, you evolve into a very, very good Pokemon, but you really don't have great stats right now. Again, everything just gets magnified. I actually want to see what the actual stat comparison is between everything and see how much Dragonair's stats actually increase. Of course, it avoids the fly, the 5% chance of eating, and now we're probably going to get destroyed by this thing, because this is, I've mentioned before, this is a 200 base power move. Okay then. But yeah, in this game, they upped Solar Beam's power to 200 base, which I actually like that they did up that power to a much more impressive baseline. I don't know if this is actually going to one-shot it. It might not. Yep, leaves it with a tiny little sliver left. Which means that we hit that first 5% time, we would have actually KO'd the Venusaur. Yeah, what is... Okay, I survive the Outrage on Shiny, which I thought was quite impressive. That probably was a range. I am willing to bet on that being a range that we survived on, and then we just completely missed the 5% chance. So I get lucky and then I get unlucky. Again, that's the story of my life. That is the Let's Play curse in action. What? Again, another 5%. Start of the 5% misses. The 5% misses are just taking over the channel. I don't get it. I do not understand why my luck is this bad. Granted, it has been a while since I've recorded. But the only thing is that now I gotta go back to the Pokemon Center, heal up, and then walk all the way back. As we went over this last time, you actually can't fly back to Victory Road, which is something that every other game has made standard for Return to Victory Road, and a little annoying. Actually, I think I still have, I think I still have, revives. in here? Yes, I have revives. Yeah, I have revives and I have hyper potions. I can just fully heal everyone. But yeah, I actually want to see the stat comparison now between Dragonair and Dragonite, just to see how much everything gets magnified. But yeah, look at that. Just Dratini, not Dratini, Shiny just gets absolutely obliterated by things, and then, oh yeah, here comes Solar Beam with its base 200 power of absolute destruction, and you survive it, but only because, and it survives the fight only because we missed the 5% chance of fly, and then it misses the 5% chance of floaty fall. There's TM Stealth Rocks. There is TM Stealth Rocks. I knew it was on this floor. I just didn't remember where the location was. I thought maybe you got it from beating one of the trainers, but I don't think that there's not always co-trainers that do stuff. Over here there's a Courage Candy. Would recommend going to grab that. Could be a bit useful. We'll dodge past this little thing. This is a shortcut to the way out. That is a shortcut out of the, of course, Victory Road, if you are so inclined to want to leave quickly, which I probably could have used earlier, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. Ace Trainer Rolando, leading up with a Rapidash. This might be something we can take on. Watch this thing have, like, Mega Horn that critically hits and absolutely takes me out. Watch it. Okay, so we got an avoid. We are maybe getting some good. You're maybe getting some good luck now. Oh. Or maybe not. Or maybe not. Because that was a critical hit on our end. And that really, really didn't do anything. Oh, this is painful, Shiny. Thankfully, we were actually able to take some hits decently well from this thing, because Rapidash isn't exactly the most powerful thing in the world. It has a decent physical attack stat, but its best stat is its speed, and that doesn't really save it in a lot of cases, because even though speed is actually quite important in Pokemon battles, it isn't the end-all be-all most important deciding factor, as we have seen from a little-known Pokemon known as... Did I not teach you Sludge Bomb yet? I haven't taught you Sludge Bomb yet. I've been forgetting to teach moves to Pokemon. I need to rectify that. Yeah, next time, well, I'm gonna be teaching Earthquake to things like Sludge Bomb. I still can't believe that I completely forgot to do that, but granted, it has been a couple of days since my last recording session. Oh, not even a couple of days. It's been probably a little over a week. Now, can we please have Fly not miss? Radon. Can you please not miss that 5% chance? For me. Please. Oh my freaking... It is a 5% chance. It is a 5% chance of missing. Why does it keep happening? Why? That is 3 times in the last 8.5 minutes that we have had a 5% chance move miss 3 times. Floaty Fall. Fly twice. This is starting to get on my nerves. I mean, again, that's what happens when you play the RNG Lotto that is Togekiss. Sometimes the game... I didn't even check what the Pokemon coming in was. So we'll just go to our catch-all answer of Pikachu. We'll just go to Pikachu. Yeah, we'll just go to Pikachu, because I completely forgot my rant tangent. Alright, let's see what we get. Let me guess, it's going to be a Rhydon. Okay, it's a Starmie. Okay, so I actually switched out something good. Yeah, so Thunderbolt is going to be the best move. Again, Thunderbolt is more powerful on a consistent basis than Zippy Zap, because we already are outspeeding things, and even though, yes, it always critical hits, the power difference is still quite substantial. It's a 75 base power move versus, I believe it is a 90 base power move in this game? Yeah, 90 base. So yeah, there really is functionally a difference between the two of them. If we get a critical hit with Thunderbolt, it's going to do significantly more damage. And that's, I think, where the main draw of Thunderbolt over Zippy Zap comes in, that Zippy Zap has absolutely no chance of dealing better damage. But Thunderbolt has a chance of critically hitting. I mean, at the very least, we are still surviving, and we at least beat them, despite the fact that we, again, missed Fly. Which, again, I don't think that, actually, I'll look at it like this. We're getting the bad luck out of the way early. We're getting the bad luck out of the way of battles, but also just the fact that it just popped up and then just disappeared right there. That's actually kind of funny. Yeah, now we move on to floor 2. You might be wondering, what's so special about why I'm saying, floor 2 specifically? Well, I'm aside from the fact that our Pikachu is shaking its head, feels tension in the air, and seems a little afraid. You may be recalling that there was a similar event where that happened in a certain dungeon, where a certain Pokemon was. And yes, another one of those certain Pokemon from a certain dungeon is in a certain location that is here. But before that, we're going to be going over the rare spawn on this floor. It actually is different than Chansey. It is Hitmonlee. So this is what I meant when I said before your choice at the Fighting Dojo long-term doesn't realistically matter, because you can get Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan within Victory Road. They are on different floors. Well, and then I just spoiled, of course, the next floors. Of course, Pokemon, that is the rare spawn, which is going to be Hitmonchan. But yeah. But on floor 2, there's a few actual useful things here. One of them is the PP Max, that is just an item on the ground. However, there is another Pokemon that is actually on this floor that we do not have access to right now, as we have to go to a different floor and then take another ladder back down. And we'll be going over that one when we go over that one. And of course, sends out a special wall when I only have special moves. So I'm gonna go back to Radon. Like, I feel so bad for Shiny. She tries so hard, and yet she is always and continuously outdone by every single other member of the team, purely because her moves are just not great right now. But the funny thing is, when she turns into Dragonite, she is probably going to be the single most powerful member of our team by a freaking mile. Also, let me, there we go. Fine, I pulled up the stats for Dragonair and Dragonite. I want to see the difference in how much their stats increase. Because I know that Dragonair does not have great. That's again, Dragonite has, base 600 stat total, because you go legendary. We'll see how much everything increases. Yeah, Dragonair has everything, be basically low 60s to 70s aside from attack, which is 84. And then there's Dragonite, where defensive stats are all in the 90s. 90s or 100. But yeah, it's a very, very big difference. Well, I mean, the speed is 80, but it's bulky enough to take it, especially in a game like Kanto. Well, that's the other thing that's kind of, throwing me off, is I remember a lot of Kanto Pokemon don't really have exceptionally high offensive stats, and things have been dealing a lot less damage than I've been anticipating. And, the enemy has been dealing less damage than I anticipate, and we've been dealing more than I've been anticipating. The exception has been Shiny. The exception has always been Shiny, where she is dealing less damage than I anticipate. Which is just the one outlier. And then you rant over. I mean, I feel like this is the episode of me just kind of ranting on how bad my luck is at times about things. But, I mean, isn't that basically everything we do here? Isn't that basically everything? Which is why I know you feed on my suffering, Mudkip. There we go, we take out that Slowbro with a Thunderbolt. If we are having this much difficulty, well then again, once we get better moves again, I need to go and change the moves now. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna fix the movesets right now. So we're gonna go for moveset improvements. Because movesets have been the big issue the entire stream, so that's stream. Recording so far. I'm still in the stream mode. There we go. Okay. You know what? We're gonna go teach TMs. Because I'm not gonna forget about this next time. How do I sort items? Sort by number. There we go. Dig, Facade, Thunder Wave, Seismic Toss, Dark Pulse, Foul Play, Thunder Punch, Rock Slide, Scald, Toxic, Thunderbolt. Yeah, Melmetal is capable of learning Thunderbolt, but I don't think it's a good move to give it to it because it doesn't actually have a very good special attack set. It's a very much physical attacker, especially ours has a minus special, especially offensive nature, so it wouldn't really benefit us at all. We do not need agility. We do not need agility at all. You are a fast Pokemon that is one of the fastest in the entire game. And only, like, Jolteon ties it, and, well, Jolteon ties it, and I think only Electro, like, exceeds it. It's ridiculously fast. Also, yes, Wildvine is capable of learning Earthquake. Again, I've mentioned this in a couple of previous things. Pokemon from Gen 1 have pretty bonkers movesets. But see, here's the real question. Rock Slide or Earthquake, Brick... Well, I want Brick Break, because Brick Break is actually just quite a good move. But then again, Brick Break is good for Steel types. You know, it's good for Steel types, it's good for Normal, it's good for Rock types. And Ice types. But we already have Rock Slide for Ice types, and Hyping just bodies them as is. This will also help us against the Steel types. It also is more powerful against Steel types. Then again, it shatters screens. You know, I really haven't been using Thunder Wave. I don't really see a need to use and have Thunder Wave on it because, again, I've mentioned this a couple of times. In normal playthroughs, like, Thunder Wave I think is just a fantastic TM to have because, again, you can inflict a status condition on your enemies and use that to, you know, make it easier to catch them. But in a game like this where you're not actually catching Pokemon in the same way, there really is no need for it. Also, where's the Sludge Bomb? Where's my Sludge Bomb TM? There it is. There's Sludge Bomb. We're going to teach Sludge Bomb to Wildvine, so that we can finally give him a way of dealing with other grass types, which has been the bane of our existence in the entire game so far. As you know, we saw from the Victory Bell. Yeah, let's get rid of Headbutt. The entire reason we had Headbutt was so you could deal with other grass types and possible poison types. So now, we don't need that anymore. I feel like I'm slowly losing my mind, especially now that we're like 17 minutes into the entire video. Yeah, we're probably... This is probably going to be where we're going to end off. So we're going to end off probably after this battle. Make sure we're all back to full health. I'm glad that I decided to come in here and make sure that we had everyone at full health, because Pikachu is quite low. There we go. Shiny, You're gonna be likely on indefinite backline for a while, just because you really need to get evolved into Dragonite. And the other thing is, I know that I could just use candies to make Dragonair significantly, you know, tank. You're able to hit hits better, and you'll do up more damage. The reason I'm not doing that is all of that would be magnified to the nth degree when she finally evolves into Dragonite. You know, Dragonite already is a beast of a Pokemon. So, making a Dragonair able to deal even more damage, or able to take hits even better, well, able to take hits better to survive hits, will basically mean that all that will, you know, probably not necessarily be doubled, but just magnified significantly more when it comes to Dragonite, which can just take hits supremely well even these days. And it would just turn into Dragonite destroying everything far easier because we made it easier for using Dragonair. And I think, all in all, it would be best to not have that be the case. Again, it's a lose-lose situation. Either we have Dragonite be ridiculously overpowered and just crush literally everything and not fear anything in the game, and have, of course, Shiny be useful as a Dragonair, or we have Shiny not really be good for a while now, and then have, you know, Dragonite not really be so far and above everything else. Joe! I guess you got a cold here in this cave, even though that's not how colds work. But, yeah, I'm thinking that is all for this video. I will see you guys next time when we continue our rockin' and rollin' throughout this place with all these rockin' and rollin' rock types. See you guys next time. Let's rock and roll. And, yeah. That's really all I gotta say. This was something. This video was certainly something with all those 5% misses.